On India's 60 Minutes verdict tonight, we are looking at that story of two men, two ideologies. Is this a battle of ideology? Is this a battle of personalities? That's the question we're asking tonight. SMS us at 56388 if you're in India and 6388 if you're in the UAE. Also joining me tonight on that debate, as I said, India's top editor-in-chiefs. With me in the studio, Veer Sanghvi, editorial director of the Hindustan Times. Also Shekhar Gupta, editor-in-chief of the Indian Express. Joining me from New Delhi, Vinod Mehta, editor-in-chief of Outlook magazine. And he was meant to be with us in studio, but sadly, like many of us, he's stuck at the Delhi airport. N. Ram, editor-in-chief of The Hindu. Thank you all very much for joining me tonight. Mr. Ram, if you can hear me, I'll begin with you since you're at the opposite end of a phone line. Your take on what happened today. It's a political crisis which has been brewing for the last 2 years. It's now the end game. Is it a clash of ideology between Prakash Karat and Manmohan Singh?
I don't think it's at all. I think it's a question of a clear position on issues, and the Congress has said one thing and did another, and that's, I think, the reason for it. They said they would take it to the committee and would come with findings from the committee, and they did not do that. So that's the end game for the Congress. That one thing that has forced it. Mission. Let's see what happens.
Was there no other choice, Mr. Ram? We know that the Congress and left, when they came together, when the UP was formed, was an unlikely alliance in the first place. Why has it suddenly become so crucial that differing ideology means pulling out of the government?
Hello?
I don't know if you can hear me, Mr. Ram. I'll just repeat the question. The Congress and left have opposed each other on virtually every ideological principle since they joined the UPA government. Why was this so different?
Oh, well, this is a major issue because the left is objecting to the strategic partnership with the United States, of which this is a key thing. So their position on this has been made clear on any number of occasions. So it's no surprise that this is the issue on which the break has taken place.
Now let me go across to Shekhar Gupta, who I don't know if he says this as a matter of pride, has been called an American lackey by Prakash Karat. Shekhar, a battle of ideology, is it as simple as that?
No, I don't think so. I think it's a battle of ideology, it's a battle of styles, it's also a battle of politics. Because, you know, M.K. Pandey let the cat out of the bag when he said that Muslims of India don't like the deal. Now, the left draws its power from Kerala and West Bengal, where it has a large Muslim vote. So, I think it's a combination of many things. These situations are much more complex than two individuals fighting. And if you look at Manmohan Singh and Prakash Karat, they're not quite individuals. They're people with very strong beliefs. And whether, you know, there are different kinds of leaders, but they both have a following.
Manmohan Singh has a following.
Yes, he has a following intellectually. He also has a following politically. His party has stood by him. His party has had the option of junking him 2 years back, but the party did not do it, and party is backing him. And so you might say he's apolitical or whatever, but he's created a politics or a situation whereby his party has had to back him. That's a politician.
Right, the emergence of a politician is a whole different debate. But Veer Sanghvi, one turning point when the Congress didn't back him is when Sonia Gandhi at the HT summit actually came out very publicly and almost a mild reprimand saying, you know, that we are pulling back after the Prime Minister had gone ahead and stuck out his neck in that interview to the Telegraph saying if they want to withdraw support.
Yes. That's what actually happened. What happened was he gave that interview to the Telegraph. After that there was an iftar party. At the iftar party he was already pulling back. He came to the HT summit in the morning session. He was wishy-washy on the deal. I pushed him. I said, will you step down if the deal doesn't go through? And he said, I quote, if the deal does not go through, it will be a disappointment, but it will not be the end of life. And in life, one has to live with disappointments. He was the one who did that. Sonia came in later in the afternoon. I asked the same question. She echoed it. I don't think she was reprimanding him.
So what changed, both for the Prime Minister and Sonia Gandhi?
I think the allies weren't ready for an election. The Congress wasn't ready for an election. And the Prime Minister pulled back. I don't think it was Sonia or anybody. It was the Prime Minister himself who pulled back.
Why is it different now? In fact, it's the worst possible time for an election. Currently, many in the Congress feel that the Prime Minister actually went too far by being so rigid about the deal.
I have no idea. This is something you will have to ask Manmohan Singh. But he believes, having said one thing last year, he believes now that he cannot continue as Prime Minister if he doesn't have the deal. Why he's changed his mind, why he did unilaterally, I really don't know.
I think an interesting point which has played out, Vinod Mehta, if I can bring you into the debate now, is the fact we're talking about two ideologies and also of two men perceived as honorable. They seem to stand out from the current pack of politicians, both Manmohan Singh and Prakash Karat, men of unimpeachable personal integrity, men who seem at least to come across that they personally have a strong conviction that this is the right thing for India. Would you agree, or would you be more cynical like Shekhar and say it's not really about ideology, it's more about the politics? Manmohan Singh went ahead and brokered a deal with the Samajwadi Party.
No, I think that if you try to see this as a contest between good guys and bad guys, and the media definitely likes to demonize the left, then Prakash Karat is the bad guy and Manmohan Singh is the good guy. But if you look at the history of what has happened, or at least on this deal, you find that both are quite inflexible and both are quite rigid. They are standing by their respective positions. But I must tell you that there is some bewilderment in the party as to why the Prime Minister on an outward flight to Japan made a statement which did four things. It gave a handle to the left to withdraw support. It gave less time to the Congress managers who were stitching up deals, so they are now vulnerable to blackmail. It undermined, I think, in some way the Prime Minister's own position, because he's talking to the G8 leaders and he's the Prime Minister without a government. And it also makes Pranab Mukherjee look very stupid. So people in the Congress are asking, why did the Prime Minister make this statement on an outward flight? He could have made the same statement on an inward flight. So there is some bewilderment in the party as to why this crisis has been precipitated and not allowed to play out. For example, on July 10th, it would have played out its kind of role, and the Congress managers would have had some time to stitch up the deal. Right now, all the people who the Congress is looking for support are making outrageous demands on the Congress.
Right, Telangana, they want a separate state.
Now.
They want a separate state in return for those 3 votes. Shekhar, if I can bring you in, the point he's making now, again, Congress sources have been telling us that some feel that the Prime Minister perhaps addressed those remarks to people within his own party as well, people who felt that he had gone too far in this endorsement of the deal, had made it a matter of him versus the deal. Would you agree with that, that it's now the PM is backing against both people in the Congress and the left?
Well, people in the Congress party don't share their inner thoughts with me. I can only see from a distance what's happening. And I think it's been very clear to people in the Congress party that this deal was something that the Congress party and Mrs. Gandhi were now committed to. And I think at a time when it looked like she stepped back and Manmohan Singh stepped back at the HT summit, when you look back, maybe it was a very clever tactical move, so they bought a whole year. In fact, they didn't just buy a year, they will now ensure that any which way this government will last its full term. Now, you can say, all right, that was a better time to go for elections, this is the worst time to go for elections, but the fact is that she would have run a whole government with the help of a group that had disagreement with her party on almost everything.
Right.
Every single policy. She has not changed her Prime Minister. This is hard politics.